Introducing Brother Buggie, slowing it down with that late night smooth.
No. You said what you pack, in fact they ain't lacking. Made in these buckle, the butters unfastened. Mimicking rappers to pick at the litter can focus, distracted, the time isn't passing. Switching the basket, no limit of action. Flipping the mattress to switch up the passion. Go silver and platinum, the body and mapping it. Round of applause when you hear how I clap. Slow mo swiftly, time that we shift key to put things simply. You know that you get me, you know that you picky. I'm grateful you pick me. If I never leave, then you can never miss me. Don't mean to get lippy, but not all the time. Nickel in hands, cause you add up a dime. Cut off the lights, cause you know that you shine, even at night. They say it's cheaper just to keep it, so to back it up, no beeper. The connection getting deeper, up and down like Tartatita. Saturated watermelon, chemical reaction swelling. When the vibe is right, no telling. She got the fever of the jungle. She the light at the end of my tunnel. Throw it back, I will not fumble. Cut her hair, but still Rapunzel. Confidence to stay so humble. Got the package, the whole bundle. Plan I dive up in the puddle all night. No. Nah. Yeah.
All right. We signing off. That was Brother Buggie bringing the knife. Y'all have a good night.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second edition of the Lyrically Rap podcast. We've got a great show for you today. We had the pleasure of interviewing our artist, friend, and supporter, Buggie, the dope MC from north of the border. Buggie has a brand new joint coming out real soon featuring Jarren Benton. This is a huge deal for him, and we got him to tell us a little bit about it.
All right, so the song is called Greatness. I got Jarren Benton featuring on it. I'm happy with his verse, man. I think his verse sounds dope. I think this song is gonna do well because my song Always Fresh with Dizzy Wright, that song is doing better than any other song I got out right now. But in this song, I think even tops that one. So I think this is going to be my next biggest hit. Probably hit 100K streams quick time on Spotify.
Man. That's how we heard you, actually, was that Always Fresh, man. That shit was
Yeah, that's kind of the whole initial start to Lyrically Rap because you came upon my feed. I don't know, I was listening to I might have been Jarren Benton or somebody, but it was a playlist that I listened to, and, this was like 4 or 5 months ago, and your song came on, and I saw you didn't have very many listens at that time, and I looked at your about section. You had your email there, and that's, I sent that email out to you initially, like way back when, before we even started Lyrically Rap. It is basically all just on that. Like, I hit up Marshall, I'm like, hey, man, it might be cool to help out some of these lyrical artists, because we had talked for several months before then about how hard it was to find good lyrical rap music.
I mean, like every day too, we'd be sending each other videos, Spotify links, of just artists that we love. That just were not out there at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we just keep sharing stuff, and like, man, why don't we just kind of share stuff with other people? It's a niche market, and then your email came up, and like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to this guy and see if he wants to do a feature. And you were like the first artist that kind of supported us there at the beginning. Like, it was like the first day.
Buggie Bars, the OG of Lyrically Rap.
Yeah. Because I remember when you sent me that email, because you had already write the story up, and then when you emailed me and you were like, yo, here's the story I wrote about you, whatever, check it out. And I read it, and I'm like, oh, this shit's dope. So I responded right away. I'm like, oh, I'll support that all day.
Buggie was gracious enough to let us get a little sneak peek into this new joint with Jarren Benton. And I got to tell you, I can't wait for this thing to drop. So thank you, Buggie. And we got a little exclusive here for you.
Buggy. When it comes to the attention, I don't need to be the center. I don't see no keyboard, but they must have pressed the enter. They just step below me like I'm sitting on the kennel. You a snake, I'm the venom. Get my name out of your mouth, I am dangerous. Wild animal in the cages. My energy contagious, so my flow is outrageous. I can keep my feet planted and just stand about my lyrics and going places. I got a good read on people, I be turning the pages. Why that grown man throw a tantrum? All because they took a knee on the anthem? Why that brother hide his hands with a handgun? Gee, it ain't easy, my success is not random. On the top, little Buggy, since I got a little money, you will not steal from me, cause the cops get bloody. You will not kill Buggy, cause I'm top tier, honey. They walk with betrayed, but they talk still love me. When the cops get hungry, should never depend up on your color. If you gon' get lucky, he was suffering, he was puffing. Could've breathed the couple's loving the power supremacist to let him know that he ain't nothing. Bleeding net on you, concerned about the cuffing?
Whoa, man, I cannot wait to hear the rest of that jam. That was dope as hell. Buggy just keeps evolving his sound, man. It's like he just keeps getting better and better and better. And I really think this one gonna be the hit that Buggy needs to just propel him where he needs to go.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a great song, and we really appreciate Buggy letting us listen to it before it comes out. Thank you, Buggy.
Respect, Buggy. So, Buggy, what is it that made you want to start recording?
Oh man! So when I was a young kid, I was always writing like raps, and even before rap, I was always writing like poems, and I'd always try to make some songs like as like a young kid and all that. And so it was kind of like, that's people always ask me like, oh, when did you start rapping? And so I never know to say like, oh man, I've been writing since a young kid, or I just started hitting the studio and releasing like official songs just a year. Whereas I don't know whether to say my whole life or whether to say a year.
So you've only been like officially releasing songs for a year?
Yeah, it was exactly 1 year, like probably a week ago when Ollie on. Yeah, that's when I first dropped Ollie on the Ropes. It was in
Happy
September.
birthday, Ollie on the Ropes, man. That shit is dope.
Hell
too.
yeah.
One
Yeah,
year
that was my first
anniversary of
track.
that shit.
So at parties and stuff back in the day before you started recording, where you would go to the parties and be the guy just freestyling against everybody, and then you get some like whack ass people try to freestyle against you. You ever have that kind of situation go on?
I mean, I'd be the guy to freestyle like just when people want like quick entertainment, whatever. But man, my greatest talent over rapping, over singing, over everything, my greatest talent is writing. I was always a writer, right? Like even if it was like whether it be writing a story, writing a poem, writing a rap, writing an R&B song, writing whatever, I feel like I was always my best was my pen. I'm the most creative, I'm the most talented when I got my pen in my hand. I could write something down. Right, spur of the moment, off top of the head, yeah, I can spit some rhymes, I can do a quick freestyle. But when I'm the most confident that hey, this is top notch that you won't find around here, it's when I can write something down and have time to think about it.
So how often do you usually work on a track?
So there's some songs that I took my time on that would take like say months, and other songs would go real fast. Like the quickest song I wrote, I think it was either Tell Me or Night. I think it was Tell Me, which was like a couple days. Like I found the beat because the producer hit me up and was like, yo, check out my beats. Pick one of my things, I'll give you a discount. I went through his beat and I liked that one there. I'm like, oh, that's a little different. I'm like, I thought of melody right away. I recorded on my phone the melody, and then I started writing to it, and everything was just flowing. Within like 2 days, I was at the studio and I was recording that. And like so from when I first heard the beat to in the studio with an official song was probably like 2-3 days. So like that was the quickest, because other times like I'll find a beat and I'll take my time with it, right? Like even once by the time I go to the studio, I got everything known by heart. I don't have to read nothing. I go and record it by heart.
So when you look for like when you're out there looking for beats and shit, like what do you look for? Like is it something you can vibe to? Like something you know you can write to? Like what do you look for when you're looking for a beat?
It depends on how I'm feeling at that moment, right? So let me tell you about that Tell Me beat. So I had chose 10 of my favorite songs, and I played them in the house, and I had my girl listen to them. I'm like, choose. These are my top 10 of my favorite. I listen to like hundreds of beats a day, and I was like, these are my top 10. Choose one, and that's what I'll write. I was so torn between all 10 of these beats. I'm like, choose one, and that's what I'll write to. And then she chose that Tell Me beat, which was completely different from the other ones. Were like some hard rap. I was just gonna rip it the whole time. This was that one beat that was like, it was gonna force me to hit a melody, right? It was gonna force me to hit the hook with some singing and some vocals and all that. So that's what I ended up going with. And then And then literally it was like 2 days I'm in the studio, recorded it, it was out.
That's dope, man. Always listen to the wifey, right?
Oh yeah. Anytime it comes to just writing a verse alone, yeah, I can. That's the easy part, writing a verse. Because the hard part is actually making a song, right? Like if it was just write straight bars over a beat, I would do that in my sleep. But it takes the hard part is actually like constructing it and making the proper structure with the melodies, with the hook. 8-bar hook, 16-bar verse, another 8-bar hook, another verse, get the bridge going in, then hit the hook again and finish it off nicely. Like that's when like you actually got to put some thought into it. But if it was just
it's a science.
Oh yeah. But when it's write a verse and they hit me up, they're like, oh yeah, we really like your flow. We want can you pick out of these songs here that we made, which one would you best flow on? I'm like, oh, these guys like my flow. I'm like, oh, I'll do that in my sleep. I can flow on anything. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, I like that song right there. And I toyed with that the whole thing. Like, I wrote that right on my lunch break. I'm like, I wrote that with a smirk on my face. I'm like, these guys want to hear me flow? All right, let's see what I can do with this one. And that's why. So for that verse, it's a 16-bar verse. Every 4 bars, I switch up my flow. You listen to it again. There's 4 bars, and it's a different flow. So I got 4 different flows in that one 16-bar verse.
Yeah, I think I sent you a message and I said, hey man, you really switch up your flows. It's something really different that it was new from you, and a lot. That's what I like about you, Buggy man. A lot of you keep getting better and keep getting better flows in each of your new songs. Like you have your style, but then you bring some new stuff to it every time, which it's
exactly
awesome. And it seemed like you really know what you're talking about on music theory too. It's like way over my head. I'm whooshing over here. I don't know about myself.
So, like, speak to your, like, evolvement as an artist. You know, like, say from your first track, Ali on the Ropes, like 1 year ago to, let's say, like, Night, you put out, what, like a month or 2 ago?
Yeah, a little over a month ago. Yeah, so, I mean, I could tell I'm getting better as an artist when it starts to get a little easier for me, right? So, like, I've always had the lyrical ability to write how I write. Like, cause even some of the verses I put, people be like, oh, that was a good verse, but people don't understand. If I were to sit down and actually be like, let me explain this line to you, let me explain that line, and let me explain why I said this right here, they would probably be like, holy shit, you think about all that? Because I think about some complex shit some people probably think, oh, that's random. Oh, he ain't really talking about nothing. No, every single line I say has a meaning to it. Like I do some crazy shit in my head and I know damn well half the people aren't going to catch this. It's going to go right over their head. But I'm like, but at least they're going to be bobbing their head to it, right? So I make it sound nice. I make my flow sound nice so they can bob their head where I can be saying anything I want. But for the people that actually want to listen to my lyrics and try to make sense of it all, then it's worth their while to do their homework on it because my shit makes sense. But from going back to like Ollie on the Ropes, it would take time. Right, like it would take a long time. I'd work on one verse, and I work on the hook, and like it'd be like say even like a couple weeks process. Whereas now it's kind of like a couple days. I'll find a verse, and if it clicks, if it doesn't click, then I'll leave it alone. But when I find a nice beat that's like, okay, I know right away what I'm gonna do with it, and I just make it happen right away.
Kind of reminds me of like what they say in sports. So like the game kind of slows down a little bit for you, and you can just go.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the buggy movement. Poppin' if you want it, poppin' if you want it, though. Poppin' if you want it, poppin' if you want it, though. Poppin' if you want it, poppin' if you want it, though. Poppin' if you want it, though. Poppin' if you want it, go. Beast to the mode, beast to the mode, beast to the beast to the beast to the mode, beast to the mode, beast to the mode.
That kind of stuff. What do you drink on, man?
Oh yeah, Stella's that high class stuff. I like Stella.
Man, Stella's my jam. Put a little salt in there. It's my
get that salt in there.
Everybody's like, what are you doing with that salt? I'm like, I don't know where I learned it at. I think it was from Corona or something, but I just started putting it in the Stella. It's like, oh, this shit's good.
Yo, you want to know before the salt, before people used to put salt in there, back in the olden days, they used to take their thumb and they would rub it like on the side of their nose, right? Rub on the side of their nose, and they'd put their thumb on the top of the beer because it's from the salt from your sweat, and then they put it on top